Okay. Out on my wrist, counted and spin it. Man at the coop, mine with no tenant.
It's Yasmin, and you are now tuning into Style Doll NYC. Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when I upload new videos. All right, now this week's video is going to be my review of Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Divinity palette. Yes, it's the palette you've been seeing all over social media, and I was definitely convinced to get it. So this is going to be my take on it, my experience. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, guys, so I want to say, when did she start promoting it? I follow Pat McGrath on Instagram. I don't want to say I'm a Pat McGrath fangirl, as like people like to say on YouTube and Instagram, but I really do love her products. So anytime I see that she's coming out with something new, I am inclined to take a look at it and see if it's any good or if I'm interested. So maybe about like a month and a half ago or so, maybe a month, she started promoting it. And teasing it. I like the way she teases it because like she'll like post all like the inspiration behind it, and it's really like eclectic. I really like it. It's anywhere from like art to like music and like vintage images. So anyway, so I started seeing it and I'm just like, oh, this is really interesting. Like, I love the fact that, you know, we're already getting some holiday palettes out there. This is the time of the season. So when she finally teased like how the entire palette looks, I got really excited. And of course, just like everyone else, like I immediately went to Google and looked it up to see if other people were talking about it, and there was some buzz about it. And a couple of people that, you know, I guess they like get exclusive information and they had a couple of details. There's some people actually had received the product beforehand, like Talia and stuff like that. It was interesting. So I ended up putting myself on the wait list on Pat McGrath's website. I mean, I know that Sephora would have eventually got it had I waited. Sephora at this point already has it. And I probably should have waited to get some points, but I do like shopping directly from Pat McGrath. So put myself on the waiting list. Finally was notified that it was available to be purchased, got 10% off for shopping with Pat McGrath Labs, and you got to buy it early. I think she gave people maybe like 3-4 days in advance to be able to order it before everyone else had a chance to, or the people that had put themselves on the waiting list, so to speak. So with that being said, and waited and waited. I will say it did not ship like right away. I feel like I had to wait at least a week for it, where with other Pat McGrath orders, it's usually a little bit faster. So I'm guessing it was just like the demand. It was really popular, which is fine. Like, it's not like we're going anywhere right now, people. Yeah, so it was completely fine. But when it finally came, I was so ecstatic, so excited. Could not wait to try it out. So this was actually my second Pat McGrath palette. I have a separate video, guys. If you haven't seen it already, it's my review of her Subversive palette. And that's more of like a premium palette because it's priced at $125 and the colors are like highly pigmented. So with me trying this one, I was already very interested to see how it would perform because it's only like $72 or so, which is essentially half the price of the Subversive palette, or just the mothership palettes altogether. So this was definitely a purchase of curiosity and of course desires. So let's go ahead and take a look at the palette. All right, so this is the Celestial Divinity palette. As you can see, the key colors for at least the packaging are pink and gold. It's really pretty, very opulent, as I would like to say. I'm really into the packaging. It says, you know, Celestial Divinity up in the right-hand corner here. So really nice. So main difference with this packaging, I would say, is that it is actually cardboard. The Pat McGrath mothership palettes are plastic and they're actually really sturdy. This is, you know, feels like your typical palette, so to speak. So that's one observation I made. All right, let's get into the actual colors. All right, so let's talk. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, a lot of pinks and purples happening in this palette. There are a couple of other alternative colors, such as gold and like a green, but to me, it still leans gold. And it's a mix of mattes and metallics, but it is primarily metallics, in which I personally like. I love a good metallic eyeshadow. However, I do always start with a base of matte anytime I put on eyeshadow. But there you go. So what I will say, my first observation, well, more like second, because I already talked about the cardboard packaging. My second observation is that there's a lot of fallout happening with this palette. As much as I like it, I mean, I don't mind because it's not at the $150 price range, and it still is slightly higher than your average palette, but by Too Faced or Urban Decay, so to speak. I still do think the colors are of good quality. The texture is fine, but with the metallics, you are getting a lot of fallout. You can even see here, I have fallout on my palette already, which isn't great, but I'm willing to work with it because this is a limited edition palette. This will not be put into production at all times during the year, so it's fine. Going back to the quality of the colors, I do think the mattes are a lot better. They perform a lot better with regard to application. I didn't lose a lot of the color when I was applying it, but I will admit that once I got to the metallics, it was like all underneath my eye. I was like, after I was done, I was like, thank God for concealer, because I would have been out here looking like a raccoon, just like a straight up like metallic glitter raccoon, and that is not cute. So overall, if I had to rate the palette from 1 to 10, I would give it like a 7.5. It performs. It's a fun purchase. It's getting me excited for the holidays because we all know this year, not a lot going on. So we need some excitement and things to look forward to. So with regards to what I have on right now, I'll tell you what the mix is because I actually don't quite remember myself. So I started with Venusian Orchid. That's the pink matte. And as I said, I always start with a matte on my eyelids. Then I went ahead and I applied Fuchsia Shock. And that's more of that purplish color. Once you look on the back, you'll see 100% the colors I'm referring to. So I guess I should point to it. All right, how about I point to it? So I started with this matte color, then I went to Fuchsia Shock, and then I went to Electron, which is this kind of metallic purple here. And then on the edges, just to build some dimension in my eye, I added Violet Void, which is this one right here. And then I went ahead and I just, in the inner corners of my eye, I went ahead and I used this color called Cosmic. I said Cosmic. I sound British. But yeah, then I went ahead and I added Cosmic. And then two more colors that I used. I used a lot of colors. I didn't even realize that until I started talking about them just now. So forgive me as I get through all the colors and I have 2 more to go. Okay, so then I went ahead and I added Galactic Gold. So I like to put alternative color down my lid just to create the wet look. I like that wet look, so that's what I did with Galactic Gold there. And then lastly, just right underneath the brow, I used a copper color, and it is called Bronze Nebula, and that is this color right here. So those are all the colors I used to get this look. I'll get closer. Forgive me with my lashes in the way. You can't see everything, but yeah, I thought it came out pretty good. I really liked it. I feel like it's so glamorous, and I feel like that's what Pat McGrath Labs is all about. She's all about the glamour, and that is definitely what I'm into. So yeah, like I said, the palette is $72 or so. It's available right now either via patmcgrath.labs.com or Sephora. So up to you where you want to go to buy it. But I do recommend it So if you are looking for access to the quality like a mothership palette, this is not it. This is definitely of a lower quality, lower standard as far as the texture of the colors and even the size of the colors. The size of the colors are much smaller in comparison to mothership, but you do get less colors. But overall, I do recommend it. It's a great holiday palette. This is a good way of testing out the Pat McGrath brand if you were turned off by like the higher price range of the mothership palettes. Well, that's all for this week, guys. If you're digging what I'm saying, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and tell a friend. Also, feel free to connect with me on social media. My name on Instagram is Glamour Girl Dolly. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.